stream on a Friday night this time. The Toby Christie.com YouTube and Facebook pages. My name's Taylor. I'm with the whole crew, Dom, Rob, and Adam. And we're just going to talk some NASCAR for the next 30 minutes to an hour, somewhere in there. Of course, recapping all the action at Pocono. We have to talk about SRX as well. And also just talking about NASCAR news because some major things dropped this past week that I don't think any of us were expecting. But I guess to start off, let's just dive right into our thoughts on Pocono. If you guys have any questions, comments for us, leave them in the chat and we'll get to them as we go along and we talk. And I promise you, we will get to the big news in the middle of the show. So if you want to talk about that, share your opinions, stick around. Thank you so much for joining Heels Rule. Good to see you in the chat. All right. So Loudon, that just happened. Not a Pocono recap. We got to recap Loudon is what I meant to say. Martin Truex Jr. wins that one. So I guess the first thing I want to talk about here with this is his post-race comments. For me, those were pretty interesting. And I think he didn't say that he was leaving in 2024, but he was like, it would be really cool if when I hung up the helmet, at the end of the year, I did it with the championship or anything like that. So I guess general thoughts on his post-race comments, his win. What are we all thinking? We'll start, Rob. You look like you want to say something.
No, I mean, as far as for him specifically in that race, he put on a clinic. It was, he had that field beat from lap one. I think most people figured it was going to be a Gibbs dominated race. But I think a lot of people thought Bell would be the one to lead 254 of 300.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at his lap lead count, and it was only a matter of time. I think totally an earned win at that track at one of his home tracks. That's the thing when you're from the Northeast. There's 3 tracks that are your home track because we only go there once. But it was a great race regardless. There were a ton of lanes. It was interesting to see throughout the race people start trying the top. I was watching halfway because I was at work. I was supposed to be there on Sunday.
The rain again.
But because it rained, I had to work. And so I could not be there. I actually still have my vest from NHMS that I need to return to them.
Yeah. Gotta mail that to them.
I'll go. I think, like Rob, we talk about this. It's you can tell when it's going to be a Truex day.
Oh, yeah.
You can off. After stage one, I saw that he took stage one, and then midway through stage two, I was, it's his to lose now.
We call Harvick the closer.
Right.
He's the opposite of whatever that is.
Right. Yeah. He's just, the showstopper. It was an unbelievable performance, typical Martin Truex Jr. performance when it comes to winning races. And I'm perfectly okay if this is his last year.
Yeah.
Because this would be the best way for him to go out. I wouldn't want a 2022 to be the way Truex ends his career, where we're all sitting around waiting for him to finally close the deal and win a race. This has been a great year for him. His wins have been very on brand. Shout out, Rob. But again, when he wins, he dominates. And this is the kind of stuff I want to see. I don't want him backing into a win because the field got taken out of Talladega and that was his win for the year. This is what I want to see out of Truex. So if he stays or if he goes, this would be a good year to hang it up, in my opinion.
Yeah. Adam, same thoughts?
I don't want him to hang up. I don't want him to leave. I've been a Truex fan since his Chance 2 Motorsports days. And what I saw on Sunday, I mean, you can always tell when it's going to be a Truex kind of day. We know that it's going to be someone throwing a bucket and a mop and he's just cleaning everything up. But that's okay. That's his style. When he wins, he flat out dominates. That's what I love about Truex, and I really would hate to see him leave, but also
everybody wants to win.
Yeah, exactly. And like the biggest thing is I think back to when my favorite guy, when he retired, had he retired in 2014, I think I would have been still wanting more. Had he retired in 2016, I don't think he had any more left in him. I think 2015 was the perfect timing for Gordon to hang up. He got one last win to get him to have a shot with a championship, was pretty consistent throughout the year. I mean, that was the way to, almost the perfect way to go. He had a 25% chance of getting championship number 5, came up short, but that was still kind of the way you want to go. And I think Truex has a legitimate shot at the championship 4 this year.
I think he does too. And yeah, my biggest thing is drivers, and I forget who. I think I heard Dale Jr. talking about this and other drivers as well. But it's like, when do you know it's the right time to hang up the helmet? Like, if you still feel like you have something left to give, is it result wise? And I think for Truex, I mean, of course, we're all like, well, if he's doing so well this year, why hang up the helmet? Why not try again another year next year? But I am in the same boat of, I don't want Truex to hang up the helmet. However, if he does, this is 1 year to go out. This is one heck of a year for him to leave the sport in that fashion. So I don't know. Again, a dominant win from Truex. He's won 2 of the 3 Monday races we've had this season so far. 7 Cup Series races have been affected by rain. I'm pretty sure that's the correct stat there. Reminiscent of what 2020, 2021, in my opinion, just how awful the rain was and weather was that season. I will say too, well, hold on. Actually, I have slides. You all know me. I have my slides. So let's figure this out here. So we have...
She has a PowerPoint presentation.
I come prepared to all of these shows that we have. First off, our point standings following Loudon. Dom Joseph continues to lead the point standings. However, I gained on points a little bit. Rob, though, he got the dub this week. He chose Martin Truex Jr. as the race winner. And
I got that home track win, baby.
We got it. And he, Rob, I think last week you were like in the 40s, like minus 40 in points, and you gained significantly. So
yeah, well, I lost a lot last week because I picked LaJoy, and
yeah,
he didn't show up at Atlanta like I thought he would. But I knew going in this weekend I made the right pick.
Yeah, no, but solid pick. Adam, you're still lingering in the hundreds, but you're doing great, bud.
Just keep showing up to the race.
Next year we're gonna blow up this point system. We're gonna have another new one.
Oh no. We'll see. Honestly, we might change it next year. I don't even know. But like, those were our point standings. These are the drivers' point standings after Loud. And I felt this was important to bring up. We usually don't talk about the driver standings following the race, but it felt like this time, with so few races remaining in the regular season, take a look at that cutoff line. That is impressive. That fight between Wallace, McDowell, Suarez, Allmendinger. Gibbs lost some ground following the Atlanta race and just didn't go his way. So the points are not in his favor right now, but it's exciting to me just to see how close the points are with those guys. And I think too, talking point here is, who do we think? Like, do we think we're going to get any new winners in the remaining races that we have? Do we think that a driver who's not currently above that cutoff line is going to race their way in? Like, who do we think is going to make it into that round of 16 based off of where we are right now?
Right off the bat, I will say all these guys have to go through Harvick to win Michigan.
Yeah.
So yes. I still think he's got one more left in him. And I'll just say right off the bat, I love how good McDowell's been this year.
Yes.
Sitting 17 points on solid racing out of that 34 car. So that's excellent for front row.
Yeah.
I definitely want to make a point of the 2 Colleague guys. They still have shots at Indy and Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
So I think they could be guys that race their way in.
And Daytona.
Haley
and Daytona.
Yeah, because I was thinking Watkins Glen and Indy are still out there.
And go ahead. Sorry.
And the road course king is sitting there in what, 23rd?
Yep.
Just because he hasn't run well on the ovals doesn't mean he's not gonna go out and dominate one of those races.
And he got very close to winning a third Watkins Glen win last year.
Yes.
Yeah, and it would be hard for me to sit here and say that Chase Elliott isn't going to make the playoffs. I think he win. I don't think he makes it on points, but I do think he wins a race. So I think you at least get one of these guys outside. that wins.
And I think too, if Chase Elliott doesn't win one of these races, like that to me would be shocking because all these tracks that are coming up are in his wheelhouse. He has something to prove at each of these tracks. He's done well at a majority of the tracks that we have left. So he has a legit shot. I'd be shocked if he didn't win. But it's, I don't know. We'll see. He's gaining momentum. He had a rough week, Atlanta. Wow. And so I don't know. We'll see with Chase Elliott. But yeah, don't count them out. And then even too, like we talked about the tracks being good for Colleague, I say the same thing for Michael McDowell. He's good at road courses as well. So
yeah, Indy could be a good one for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we were even talking about drivers that were strong at Michigan, and we brought up here Bubba Wallace. He finished second last year in that race. He ran pretty strong.
Started on pole position, didn't he?
Yep, that was his first.
Yeah.
Yes.
The issue with that 23 team is they need to make that car good at this beginning of the race. They spend the entire race getting it to where it can run,
competitively
the top 10.
Yeah.
And that on, the same side of that, that team needs to stop making pit mistakes.
Yeah.
Because,
you know what would help that? Longer practice sessions.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Because Bubba has speed every week. Bubba has speed at every track. He's had speed at road courses. But they need to have a complete race and not, either be good at the beginning and then get into an issue at the end, or, run in the between like 11th and 20th for 3/4 of the race and then finally hit on it that last stage and finish in the top 10.
Sorry, Taylor. I think that, like Adam said, if there was more track time before the race, him and Reddick would be way more equal.
Oh yeah, that 2311 team would be
They'd be wicked.
They'd be unstoppable.
They'd be very good.
Yeah,
they'd be very wicked.
I think the same thing for a driver like Ryan Blaney too. He's a driver that if he puts races together, he will put a race together. But oftentimes he runs into issues near the back half of the race that he can't recover from, or the team is fighting. Well, can I be good in the first half of the race? Then we're awful in the second half, or vice versa. So he's another driver I kind of put into that category too.
That pit crew needs to step it up too.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a large part of the issue.
I think speaking of Colleague, we'll kind of move away from Loudon at this point. We'll talk about SRX after this, but I want to bring up the Justin Haley news because there's a lot to unpack there, but there's also a lot we still don't know. But the news was announced that Justin Haley will be joining Rick Ware Racing in 2024 in a multi-year contract. So leaving the Colleague team. We don't know the number that he's going to be racing in. We don't know any sponsors at this point. All we know is that he's joining them for a multi-year contract. And of course, we also know that RWR has a technical alliance with RFK. So there's something there too. Justin Haley was excited about the opportunity. And we also, can think around with, Brad maybe preparing for his eventual retirement, trying to get his ducks lined in a row a little bit as a successor, maybe. There's so many cooks in the kitchen here. We also have to think, well, is Colleague looking for a different driver? We know the whole rumors with SVG going to NASCAR. Maybe this is part of that rumor. There's a lot that's not being said that everyone's going to speculate about. But this move to me was very sudden, very bizarre. I don't know if I like it. I don't know about you guys. Dom, I think, what do you think about this?
So when I first saw the news, I was like, he's throwing his career away. That was the first thing I thought. It's like, why? Why would you leave? I was just blown away. But it started, as more and more started coming out, it started to make a little bit more sense.
Mm-hmm.
In that it really is just, he's just waiting in line for the 6 car.
Yeah.
I think that's the unfortunate thing we have to live with, is that time is coming, whether it be sooner or later.
I will cry.
But Brad's about to turn 40, so I think that's just him waiting in line. And RFK doesn't have a third charter, so they sent him to a team that has one of those coveted charters and went the Alliance way.
Yeah.
The reason I'm so sad about this is because they're splitting up him and Allmendinger.
Yes.
I know. Yeah.
Well, and that's one of those things, because like I love Colleague, and therefore I love Justin Haley, and I hate to see him leave that team, because it feels like he was really the first contender on that team.
Yeah.
So it like obviously like Blake Cook was like the OG.
Yeah.
But
Blake Cook walks to the Justin Haley
all that to say, Haley like really
they kind of built around him, in my opinion.
Really brought that team to the forefront and made them the championship contender that they were in the Xfinity Series. I mean, Allmendinger obviously helped with that as well, but yeah, I'm wondering if Rick Ware thinks they're gonna be a furniture row, and I think there's a lot of teams in the last 5 years that have thought they could be a furniture row. Levine thought they could be a furniture row. Go Fast thought they could be a furniture row. So I'm hoping Rick Ware isn't going down that same path.
I mean, I guess all fairness, but even I guess not, Rick Ware is beating out the 42 in points right now. So, but again, Gragson was out due to injury, and he just had a horrible rookie year, and we expect more from that Legacy Motor Club team. But
that whole team's having issues. That's not due to driver error.
No. But I think, though, with that partnership with RFK, there's the hope that Rick Ware can start to get a little bit more consistent, maybe run a little bit better week in, week out. It's not going to be a night and day fix, not even at all. My thought process was I'm shocked that I don't think that they're going to be selling any charters. My whole silly season thought in my head was Rick Ware is going to sell a few charters. Other teams are going to get more cars. There's going to be new teams joining, and we still don't know that yet. But I was surprised.
He'll get the most out of that car, considering.
Yeah, he will. He does.
When you put a competent driver in one of those Rick Ware cars, they run top 20.
Yeah.
See JJ Yaley.
Yaley, yeah.
And I think Haley's a better driver than Yaley. It's very funny that potentially those two are going to be on a team together.
Oh, good lord.
JJ Yaley, JJ Haley.
Does Taylor know that he used to go by JJ Haley?
Yeah.
I think he still has it on his website.
He does?
I think.
Oh god.
It might be on his it might be his name on the A post.
Because I know it is on his A post, I think, because I remember during the Xfinity race at Atlanta, which funny enough is when he bailed on Hemrick, and everyone was like, why would he do that? And now there's speculation and all that kind of crap. But I saw they kept calling him JJ, and I was like, this is so confusing to me. So
there's something I want to bring to attention.
Go for it.
So we already know who's driving the 4 car next year. And Justin Haley is going to a Ford, as in Rick Ware, setting up his future. So who's driving the 10?
Yeah.
That's really now the question is,
if Almirola
if you had to choose between the fruits of Rick Ware Racing or Stuart Haas, and you chose Rick Ware? Or is there even an option of having Stuart Haas?
We know who belongs in the 10. I think we know who belongs in the 10.
Zane Smith.
And he's sitting 16th in points.
Michael McDowell.
I mean, that's the rumor I keep hearing, but I don't.
But here's why I just think that's a good idea.
I would put Zane Smith in the 4. I don't know if I would have put Barry in a cup yet.
Here's a complicated thing. So Zane Smith is still he's still in his contract. They would have to buy out a contract for him to move anywhere. So that's one thing. 2, it perplexes me that you would move Michael McDowell to Stuart Haas Racing, which is great for Michael McDowell. He's consistent. He's proven. But if you want to rebuild that team, you're going to have to fill that seat sooner rather than later, just because, I mean, I hate to say, but Michael McDowell, he's up there in age. He's not going to be around as long.
You need a veteran.
You do need a veteran.
Because, sorry, Taylor.
Sorry, no, you're good. I was going to say the thing that I latched onto, though, during the Josh Berry Stuart Haas Racing press conference that they had to announce the news officially to everybody, was they were like, we need a veteran mentality. We need someone who's a leader in these cars, and we think Josh Berry is that guy. So, again, they still could put Michael McDowell on their team and have a true veteran in that sense. But they
One
also think that Barry has that mentality.
One thing to note too is that Loves and Speedco would not go with them. That's a FRM sponsor.
Yep.
So that's not a sponsor grab if you're going for McDowell. So you're going off the pure talent of the driver.
Right.
And I don't know if McDowell has any sponsors that are specific to him.
Smithfield could stay, maybe.
Right.
They could, but I don't know. If Almirola goes, I don't know if they stay.
That's what I'm thinking.
They've been pretty loyal to Almirola. They were with him before Stuart Haas.
I feel like if they were committed to team, you would have seen Smithfield on the other cars too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't touched
I
any
mean,
other car.
Mobile One's been
Everybody.
on all the other cars. Like that's a team sponsor. That's not driver sponsor.
Even Bush has been.
Bush was on the 14. Yep.
Yeah.
A few years ago.
Hi, Alex. Sorry, I had to say hi.
Alex.
Hey. What's up, buddy?
Adam, Bush used to be on all the Xfinity cars back in the day.
It did. It most certainly did. Do you remember that glorious Oreo Ritz car that Dale Earnhardt Jr. piloted?
Which one?
Ooh.
I will say this
Let's
about
go back to
Stuart Haas.
2002.
I'll say this about Stuart Haas. They are wickedly dangerous in wicked danger of falling into the same category that Roush did.
Yes.
Where they lose.
Yep. Great point.
The team
Everybody.
loses basically all their lead drivers, and you kind of rebuild around guys that had Xfinity success, but
Can't bring that to Cup.
it might not translate to Cup success. And I'll say this for Roush, they had a 2-time Xfinity champion during that rebuild.
Yeah.
They don't have any Xfinity championships once Harvick leaves. And they're trying to do it with 4 cars instead of just 2.
My thought process is I think it would be smart if they can't get Zane Smith. And even then, I think that jump for Zane is a lot. And I don't think he should do it. That's just my opinion on it. But I think it would almost be beneficial for them as they rebuild again to just go down to 3 cars. Like they probably won't do it, but I think if you want to try to build back stronger, especially with your younger drivers and a new driver and things like that, I think just focus on the 3, build that up there, continue to build that Xfinity program, make it stronger there, and then look towards bringing back the car again. But they're going to go through a rebuild. They're not doing as well as they should, as we think that Stewart Haas Racing should.
There's only one problem with the whole going from 4 cars to 3 cars. They're locked in with that charter. They'd have to sell the charter off.
And that's the problem.
That is a tough bridge.
Yeah. So,
I mean, you're going to make more on your investment than you did when you first bought the charter regardless. But
true.
I would hang on to that thing as long as you can because it only appreciates every year. So,
well, and what they could
Nobody
do,
wants to buy it.
right.
Yeah.
Or they could rotate drivers in and out of that car too, kind of as like a development type of thing, like Colleague did last year with like Gregson, Hemrick, and Allmendinger.
Yeah.
Rotate it out. I mean, it's not going to be like beneficial. Like you're not going to necessarily go for like a driver in that car with a championship next year. But
that would be an owner's championship car.
But it would be an owner's championship.
You could put, Herbst for a couple races. You could put
Custer
in the car.
Yeah, put it back in.
You could put Jensen Button in the car for road courses.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's shown a really hard interest in coming.
Yeah.
He really wants to run. He wants to run NASCAR even more than he is this year. And that's exciting to hear too.
Yes.
Is this whole international pool of drivers that are now interested in our sport?
Yeah. We'll talk about when we preview the Indy Road Course. There's drivers that are coming from outside the country that we'll talk about that are coming in to race. SVG, of course, will be back, but we'll preview that more just because it is very exciting and we just got to go through who's driving for what. RCR is bringing in a driver, so that'll be exciting when we get there. But no, it's true. The international reach of the sport has been really exciting. It's bringing in different eyes. Let's make sure we're getting to some of the questions and comments here too as we are talking through this whole scenario of Stewart Haas Racing right now. Heel said, could you see Custer getting called up to the 10 if Eric retires? And let's make the scenario like going back full-time racing for Stewart Haas Racing and Cup. Do we see that happening?
I'll start. Number one, I apologize. Someone cut off the exhaust of their Corvette, and they live in my apartment development. So if you can hear that in the background, but I think the motive at Stewart Haas is Custer can come back if he wins the Xfinity Series championship. I think that is the only way he can come back is if he's the Xfinity champion, and if he does what he did in 2019 and just dominate. And unfortunately came up short because he had two other really good competitors with him, in Bell and Reddick.
Right.
So I think he has to. You can't really do this anymore because of the point system, but like the best way to describe it, he would have to win it outright.
Yeah.
Where he had the most wins, took the last race of the year, won the championship in the last race, and it was an unquestioned, undeniable championship run for him. That's his only way back.
I want to see in 2019 if he technically won the points championship.
So I think, honestly, it would probably be Bell. So I think Bell of the three all year.
Yeah.
Bell.
No. It was Reddick.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Reddick still won. He won by 35 over Bell, and then Custer was third.
Okay.
I would love to see Custer come back to the Cup Series, but like what Dom was saying, he is going to have to absolutely just flat out dominate the rest of the season and win the championship. But it also would have to fall down to, does Smithfield want Cole Custer? Because they're not going to want to run another Haas sponsored car, the number 10 Haas car. No one. I don't think anybody would want to see that, especially from a financial standpoint. If you're going to do that, run the Xfinity Series and just keep running that series into the ground with just flat out dominance. So, like Dom said, I got to agree. It's got to be an absolute butt whooping to get back.
And as a business decision, there's nothing wrong with keeping Custer in Xfinity because he keeps winning.
Yeah.
With your name on the car, that's going to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Pay your bills.
Yep.
Yeah. I would like to see Riley Herbst. I'll be honest. I think it'd be interesting just to see, all right, is this kid, is he real or is he a fluke?
I think we already have that answer, Adam.
I want to see him in a Cup car, see what he can do in different equipment. I would just like to see for just for the heck of it. Let's see what happens. Put another monster car in the field.
No.
Number 10, monster. This time, this one has green side skirt.
It's ironic that it's no longer the Monster Energy Cup Series.
And
We have more Monster Energy cars in the field than we ever have.
Yeah.
And we see the Monster Girls on screen more than any other sponsor, it seems like.
Fair.
Or just like Monster adverts, even when they go split screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Subtly, still proud partner of NASCAR.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Still an anchor.
Which is one of the Cup sponsors, so it kind of makes sense.
Fair. Well, we'll wrap up our.
I'm getting roasted in the comments already.
I was going to say.
That was my bold statement for this. Well, that's one of them. I probably will have another one.
Listen,
I was going to say, Adam, that is bold.
The only
Very
thing
bold.
you need to hear is he had a year to win in a JGR Xfinity car and couldn't do it.
Thank you.
I know. And then Ty Gibbs comes up and just wins almost every race in that same car.
It's like the unfortunate comparison I make is Kyle Benjamin, because he ran Gibbs Xfinity cars, couldn't win in them, and now he's not even in NASCAR anymore.
Yeah.
It shows you
You
what
almost
sponsorship
did.
dollars make you.
You almost won Iowa.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Another almost.
Another almost.
It's always the what ifs. All right. Well, we'll move on. We'll talk about SRX a little bit as we digest the whole idea of Riley Herbst possibly going to the Cup Series. Let's just.
Hey, I'm just glad Alex agrees with me in the comments. It might be worth the shot.
It might be worth. I'm not against
There's a
it.
chance.
Trying that, especially this. I'll save my comments for another day. Anywho, we'll look at the SRX race. We went to Stafford for the second week in a row. And these were the results. Ryan Newman ends up back in victory lane at Stafford for another year there. So pretty cool. Suarez was in this race as well, finished second. He had a chance for the lead and just wasn't able to get there. We had some brake issues during this race as well. Didn't show up, of course, in the heats, but when the race happened, Tony Kanaan, dude sent it into the wall. Like, my God, that was scary. And then Brad Keselowski, he was doing great. And then he ended up, spinning out, or he lost his brakes near the end of the race or something like that happened. But yeah, so overall,
He ran into someone.
There we go. Yeah, ran into something. There we go.
Ran into someone.
Oh, Paul Tracy ran into him, and he spun.
Yep,
that's what happened. So,
what does the S stand for in SRX?
Superstar.
Okay.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Superstar Racing Experience.
Just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Just want to be 100%. But yeah, no, and then Ryan Preece, I felt so bad for him. He was killing it, and then he lost his brakes. So that kind of sucks. And if we look at the
place, let me tell you.
These are the points for SRX right now. The second week in, Newman's leading the standings, and then everyone else down the line. So yeah. Overall, I mean, I don't know how closely. I know, Adam, I think you've been watching SRX. I don't know, Dom, Rob, if you've been watching it closely or not. But just overall thoughts, I guess, on its third season. Even if you haven't watched it, just thoughts from afar. And we can also talk about this in the comments, too.
Last night was 100% improvement over last week's race.
It was.
I felt like there was more intensity, yet it was not as chaotic. Drivers were actually focused on racing, not wrecking each other.
Yeah.
For a change. And it was also great to basically, we had a fantasy dream lineup of an announcer booth from the early 2000s. You had the best of NBC, you had the best of Fox put together. Boom. It was awesome to watch and hear and just enjoy and vibe with.
I will say last week, the combination of Alan and Joey was really, really good. Like,
they have
chemistry.
Really good chemistry together.
Yeah.
Joey's got a future in the booth.
Yes.
Yeah. He's fantastic. So yeah, last week was very chaotic, especially just because weather was on the horizon and the rain was shortened due to lightning, and Denny Hamlin won that one. And it was, I would say I'm so glad that there was more of a focus on racing this week as opposed to knocking each other out, essentially. So I'm excited to see, next week we have, I think Joseph Newgarden's going to be in the field next week, correct?
I think.
Right? Am I wrong?
No. Are they next week?
Asking the wrong person.
They're in Virginia next week. Is
that Langley?
Dominion.
Let me double check. We are at the Motor Mile.
Motor Mile.
Today.
I think Newgarden is running Motor Mile.
Yes.
There is the answer.
Yeah.
Alex knows.
Alex is going to know this.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Alex is excited because IndyCar is at Iowa this weekend.
Yes, I am
a double.
Joseph Newgarden's going to win one of those races.
Oh yeah.
He was the fastest in practice today. So,
oh yeah.
There you go.
I looked at getting tickets for that race. I wanted to go so bad.
I'd love to go to a race at Iowa.
Ed Sheeran is performing.
That's why I want to go. Ed Sheeran. Like
what?
I love Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, the music lineup is like the most bizarre. It's like 3 country people and Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see. Iowa.
Carrie Underwood and Ed Sheeran are Sunday, I think, and then Kenny Chesney and Carrie Underwood.
That's my dream. That's my dream concert series right there.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I'm for it, but I don't.
Zach Brown Band? Anybody? No.
Yeah, Zach Brown Band. Yeah, that's the other
right
one.
there with you.
I got one of them wrong.
I don't get it.
The Iowa race should be good for IndyCar. Let's see.
Yes.
Yeah. Connor Daly will be with Alan Bestwick at Motor Mile. And Connor Daly getting a shot in the was it this past weekend or is it going to be this coming weekend for
Connor Daly's a busy guy.
He's very busy.
Very busy.
Yeah, he's running the Meyer Shank car, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
Yeah. Simon still has not been cleared. And I think this is updated for the Iowa events. So unfortunate there. But Connor's, doing what he can do. Of course, doesn't have his, full-time ride anymore, but he's
a good car to be in.
Yeah.
The car's a good car to be in.
And on the Meyer Shank side, they've got a good driver to,
For sure.
Exactly.
give them a serviceable finish.
No doubt.
Hey,
Good
Will,
for
thanks for joining the chat. I appreciate it. Yep, and then Daly did run in the 60 at Mid-Ohio. So, yeah, that was cool. I got to talk to him before the truck race that he ran. And we kind of talked through, how running for Indy the week prior helped prepare and if he was wanting to run more NASCAR. I think I just saw an interview he did today, and I don't know if it was with I forget which outlet it was. I don't think it was Front Stretch or it was somebody. But he was like, I don't think he's going to run more NASCAR this season, so I wanted to expect that from him. But
I mean, the only thing he would do is like money team stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't
That's
even know.
only super speedway, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Speaking of the money team, hold on.
Wasn't he sponsored by BitNile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
BitNile go under?
They're, I think, under investigation
Yeah.
or something.
Oh, amazing.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
they're not running.
Yeah.
Well.
I need to find.
Got to bring back the Pit Viper car.
Oh
Yes.
That's
a fever dream of a paint scheme.
that was a car that was on the
What
track.
frustrates me is we get that car, but Tony Breidinger's Pit Viper car is just white.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm trying. Oh, here's what I'm. Oh, okay, hold on. Harris Lou. He made. Now I need to share this with you all. Sorry. Okay, hold up. He made the money team he made a jacket for them. And it actually looks really sick.
Good. That looked good.
Yeah. No, I adore him.
I mean, Harris knocks that out of the park every time. So
yeah,
pretty good.
Killer. That's awesome. Yeah, as we were talking about them, I had to point it out because this looks awesome. So there we go. My bad.
It's fine. It's fine.
Rob, your mom is in the chat.
Yeah, no. Hi, Mom.
Oh, BitNile's
Hi.
We'll keep it
Hi,
down.
Mrs. Branning. We like the crab. That's cool.
Our fearless leader has departed, so now it's time for the Bush Series podcast.
Wait.
All right, boys, ready?
Quickly.
Quick.
All right, yes.
Hit the bush.
All right. I'm good. I'm ready. We got it.
All right, time to go rogue there, boys.
All right,
We're
so,
ready to go.
I tell you what, there, Adam. I was watching the old Hershey's Kisses 300 at Daytona, and while I think that Dale Jr. did have the better car in the Oreo car, I think Harvick was incredibly underrated in his Hershey's Kisses number 21. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I definitely, I think I would agree with you on that one. The Kissables car was definitely superior that day. However, the record book states that Mr. Daryl Earnhardt Jr. won.
Daryl?
Daryl Earnhardt Jr.
Daryl Earnhardt Jr.
Oh, she's back. Let's back on, boys.
Wait, go back.
And we're back with Above the O-Line, but we have it's been above the O-line the entire time.
Yes. So as we were saying while Taylor was gone, I do think Connor Daly's going to do great at Iowa. It's going to be a good show, good doubleheader. And yes, Rob's been wearing that hat the whole time.
Pay no attention to his head. It's the same hat.
I've been wearing this hat the whole time.
Here's what we need to do.
I hate Reed Sorensen.
Hi, Dad.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Hello.
He finally got it to work. He texted me. He said, the Facebook stream, it's not working for me. I said, go to YouTube. Just go to YouTube.
Do it.
He went to YouTube, it looks like.
So here's what we have to do at some point. We need to give these boys a Bush Series podcast episode.
No, you don't want that.
Oh, I don't know, Taylor.
I don't think I want that to happen.
You just need to let us have a stream where we watch the Hershey's Kissables 300.
Honestly, let's do it.
Never talk about the racing. Just talk about the paint schemes the whole time.
Exactly.
The entire time.
Can we just do? Honestly, if you guys in the chat want us to do, I kind of want to do that. I think that'd be fun. Why not? We should try to plan on it.
We can vibe just to like the old NASCAR races with
give me a race with
awesome
Juicy Fruit car, and I'm in.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I feel like it's time. We've made so many Bush Series jokes and references. It's time to just fully dive into this And
I
if
take
it
offense to
goes
that.
haywire,
We don't
it's
joke
so
about the
fine.
Bush series. We
No.
don't joke about the Bush series.
See,
This
We're
is a
serious
movement,
about the
thank
Bush
you.
series.
It's about the Bush series.
The Bush series.
my God.
I think it would be. I think it'd be interesting. We
At
should
some-
run a poll. We should run a poll of all these ideas we have and see what the people want.
Isn't there a
Grand
way-
National.
Isn't there a way
Grand.
like on YouTube to like make like a poll, right? No? I'll just do it
The
on
Grand-
Twitter. We'll do it on Twitter.
The
Why
Grand
not?
National Podcast.
Honestly, though,
Because we're grand and national. And we're a podcast.
that is true. At some
Sort of.
point, you guys, we
do
will
not stream-
do
We do
something.
not stream outside the United States.
Wait, so
Sorry, Canada.
so if I'm on there, do we call it Bush North?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
Yes.
you're a Bush. You are.
You
our
are Bush North.
reporter.
I am Bush North. Yeah, baby.
oh my God.
Oh.
I guess
I think
we
I-
can.
I think I have Martin Truex Jr.'s win at New Hampshire in the Bush North Series race on a VHS somewhere.
Really?
I swear
What?
I have it. I swear I have it somewhere.
That's
I have
amazing.
a VHS of the
Bunch.
this is topical because I have a VHS of the 2007 Lennox Industrial Tools 300. I know I do
Ooh.
because during
Nice.
that summer I would VHS record every
So,
race.
Denny,
That was
right?
also a race. Denny and Reed Sorensen qualified third for that race.
Nice.
Yeah.
He did not finish there. I think he finished in like 32nd. But
Oh, nonsense.
oh well.
He worked his butt off. What more do you want?
There's some people out there that don't have like VHS players anymore, like at all.
Oh yeah, me.
You don't? Oh well, then,
I don't.
go to Goodwill, get yourself a VHS player.
I have 2 or 3 at my mom and stepdad's house.
Nice.
Like one was like a old recorder, like from it's from a sports place. I'm not gonna say what sports place, but y'all know, wink, wink. And then like they bought like this was recent. This is like 5 or 6 years ago. They bought a VHS DVD combo kit so my stepdad could transfer like old tapes over to DVD to digitize them, and then continue to go down and down to like MP3 form. So yeah, it was interesting.
At some point, we'll have to watch old races together on the stream. We'll just have to do a poll, pick one, and we'll hop on the stream and we'll do that for 1 week. Honestly, we probably do that next month. So keep that in mind. It should probably be a Bush Series race just to stick with the brand that we've created here.
Has to be
2007 Gateway.
no, it's either that or Daytona. It's got to be
Yeah.
one of those kind of races.
Daytona.
We need
fair.
we need an Oreo car in the race.
We do.
Get to Gateway.
It's a requirement.
Wait, can we do
Ooh.
2005 Nashville?
We could do 2004 Nazareth. I have that.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Oh,
That's a Martin race with a Taco
Okay.
Bell car.
they do.
All right.
They do.
Ooh.
If you have races you want us to watch, comment them in the chat. If you have questions or topics you want us to discuss as well, comment them in the chat. We'll talk about some things for a few minutes here. I did see a comment from Will. Apparently, he does not like Ross Chastain, and that's fine. We all like certain drivers and don't like certain drivers. Thoughts on Bush picking Chastain over Rowdy Bush?
They're gonna get their biggest bang for their buck at Trackhouse. That's why.
like him or hate him, they put him on screen a lot.
It's true.
So
Anheuser-Busch already had a track record at RCR. I don't think they want to go back there.
Oh yes, Budweiser.
Right.
Mhm.
We go, oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
they want to go back there. I think Trackhouse would be. I think Trackhouse was the right move.
I would love to see Chastain run a Budweiser car. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, but
I don't know. For me, it's the perfect marketing opportunity and perfect branding opportunity to make a watermelon beer. Like, I'm sure, like, at
Yes.
some point that was pitched during this partnership thing, and like, it works. It fits his blue collar grassroots vibe. I think it's a great partnership, and I think the only thing that you would have had with Kyle Busch to make that partnership, I guess, make sense and meld well together is just the last name. That's just my opinion, though.
yeah, that was I think that was what people were going for. But
Yeah.
And I think the other thing too is you have to remember that Kyle Busch also has his own beverage that he's trying to brand, Rowdy Energy.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
there's no reason. That's probably one of the main reasons why he probably didn't even consider it.
Yeah.
I have my own company that happens to be in the same industry as yours. Granted, it's not alcoholic, but I've got a beverage I've got to represent. Every time I win, I want that in my hand, not a Busch beer.
Yep.
So
this is valid. This is valid.
100%.
Yeah.
I can't tell whether that's a compliment or an insult.
I think it's a compliment.
Either or. I think it's a compliment. Alex, I'm going to say that's a compliment.
Go out there, we're doing the Yeoman's work out in the watermelon fields, chill off with a nice cold.
Put him in a commercial.
Hey, can we sing the Busch theme?
We're all going to be off key.
We're all going to
be demonetized.
We're all going to be delayed. There ain't no way we're going to be on.
Let's see. Let's go to another comment here.
We'll just share our video that our special moment we had at Charlotte.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's one of my
magical
favorites of all time.
I was so mad. Literally,
It was perfect.
literally, as soon as we heard the first note when they say "come on," Adam and I just
our eyes locked.
We looked at each other.
That video needs to be posted.
Oh my gosh.
Our eyes locked, and we had to whip out a phone as soon as we could, and boom. The rest,
The rest is history.
it was magic.
Yeah, no, their theme song is so catchy, which is unfortunate, but it's also great. What else were we seeing? Oh yeah, somebody said Brian said William Byron is the clear favorite this year. Do we agree with this?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the regular season favorite.
Yeah.
The only caveat I'll say to that is that since Byron's, well, let's say since Truex won at Dover, between Byron and Larson, who I think are the other two drivers that you can consider the favorites, they haven't won a full race. Truex has won 2 races since then. So I think I would still put Byron as the favorite just because I don't see them just falling off a cliff for the rest of the year. I think this is very similar. I mean, and we keep making this comparison with Larson and Byron. Granted, they didn't win as many races to begin the year, but this is a lot like Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, 2007.
Well,
he had a summer slump.
We haven't seen Byron put together a solid playoff run, in my opinion. I feel like that's where he falters.
I think one thing that Truex knows very well that Byron has yet to do is Truex knows what it's like to lose a title and then go out and win one.
Yep.
And sometimes you've got to lose one before you can win one. So I think what we could see this year is Byron get there, but not close the deal.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't, I mean, obviously the system is, it's just whoever has the best car, Phoenix, is your champion.
Right.
But still, I mean, Truex had a really good year in 2015, was just consistent all year, and then got to Homestead and saw 2 guys that were destined to be champions that day, either Harvick or Kyle Busch. And Harvick had already won one and made Kyle earn it at Homestead. But he lost that year. And then 2 years later, held off the guy that won the title in 15 to get his first. So again, it's like as Harvick made Busch earn his first title, Busch made Truex earn his first title. I think we'll see. I personally think Byron is going to get to the Final Four, but I don't know if he'll close the deal yet. It'll all come down to what kind of postseason he has.
Yeah.
I agree. I think he's definitely the regular season champ, but I think I know who's going to win this championship. I'm not going to say who, but I have a feeling it's almost a perfect storm for this to happen. I'm not leading on anything, but I think I know someone. I think I know who's going to win this.
You can't do this to me.
I think I know who's going to win it. I think I know. I think I got it now.
Can you tell us after the stream?
Well, I got the script right. I got the script right here.
Oh, he's got the script.
Sorry, I had to dig up an oldie but a goodie. No, I don't think Byron wins it this year. I think Dom has hit the nail on the head with this one. You got to lose before you win one.
I think Dom's gonna win it.
Yeah.
What?
I think Dom's gonna win the championship.
Well, I think he's gonna win our points championship. I'm not gonna win.
Yeah, he's gonna win. Yeah.
No way. 48. I'll make the playoffs.
Yeah. The playoffs, everything resets, so you never know. You never know. Anyhow, let's go to preview what we have coming up at Pocono. We'll do just our driver stats this week. We won't look at the track facts necessarily.
It's a giant triangle.
It's a giant triangle. It's basically
There's your fact.
No, that is your fact. The race is 400 miles, 160 laps. But your driver stats. Now, I put Hamlin up here with an asterisk. I know he was disqualified. I understand that. But I still think he was kind of the race winner in a sense, but also a major loser that day. Then Elliott ended up winning that race because of the disqualification. And then as we go down the list, we have our best average finishes since 2020, best overall average finishes at the track. Hamlin, I believe, with your most track wins with 6. With all that said, I guess who do we think we need to be looking at this weekend? Even just manufacturer wise, do we think we have a favorite there?
I'll be interested to see if Toyota is a little more conservative because of what happened last year. I'll be interested to see if they overcompensate and they're way off the pace. But because I think about what the penalty was last year, it was so minuscule. I really don't think that messed with the car that much. So I think Toyota will be decent, but it's just Pocono is one of those tracks where it's just, I don't know.
It's tricky.
It could be. Thank you. But yeah, I don't know. It could honestly, like, we could see Byron win this weekend. He's never won at Pocono, but he could very well win this race. Obviously Denny has the numbers and leads a bunch of laps there. I would put him as the favorite because he's so good there, but Pocono is a wild card, so we'll see.
And Keselowski always looms too.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Keselowski, he always looms too in these stats, and he's knocking on the door of a win. It's just a matter of where and when. I don't know if he's going to get it this weekend at all. There's better tracks coming up for him, especially just Daytona with the cutoff race for the regular season. But I would say maybe look out for him to have a decent like top 5 finish potentially. Of course, we have to wait till we do practice and qualifying, but you never know. Go ahead, Adam.
you took the breath right out of my mouth there.
Okay.
Taylor. I was going to say something about Keselowski. I think this weekend will be a true testament to see what if anything has happened with the Fords, and this will be a big determining factor of Michigan to see if Harvick can possibly go out for another dub. So I think this weekend it'll be crucial to see what can Ford do.
Sweet. There was one comment that I wanted to get to as well that didn't really relate to Pocono, but I do like the comment. Johnny Talks Sports said, do you anticipate the drivers not racing SVG with respect at Indy? We'll talk about this just a little bit. I doubt they want him embarrassing them a second time in a row. Go for it. Go for it.
I don't expect anybody to race with any respect at the Indy.
You haven't seen it.
I don't mean to be that blunt, but I think what we've seen in the last 2 years, especially in turn 1, it's like
way too inviting.
When it gets down to the end of the race, just send it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna penalize them for sending it. They're gonna send it. They have to. They like it.
Inviting.
It's one of those things where it's like, no, they're not racing with respect, but they're also racing in the environment that's been created for them. So
yep.
It's kind of a nature of the beast at that track. So
do what you can until they call you out.
Yeah.
We like literally Chastain cut the course last year,
Yeah.
and rode it to the end, and then after the race they were like, yeah, he can't do that.
Yeah. Changing the rules. Ross Chastain. I guess fighting the rules too. But yeah, so we'll see when we get to Indy. We'll talk much more about it just because there's a lot to preview there, especially with drivers. I did want to mention before we wrap things up here, there are drivers that are pulling double duty this weekend at Pocono. Cup drivers, at least, I want to talk about specifically. Chase Elliott's going to be in the number 17 in the Xfinity Series, and for truck we have Bell, Kyle Busch, and Ross Chastain. Chad Chastain, it would have been brothers racing each other in the truck series, but unfortunately Chad failed to qualify. So he will not be in the field. And then also shout out here to Stephen Malazzi. TobyChristie.com will be in the field for AM Racing. So be on the lookout for him. Cheer him on this weekend as he gets back on the track. So we're very excited for him. But that does it from us here at Above the Yellow Line on this Friday evening. Yes.
You've also got Ty Dillon in Xfinity.
Thank you, Ty Dillon. Thank you, and Ty Dillon in Xfinity. So
Yeah, 3 cars back.
How did I miss that? My God. Yeah, so watch out for him. Thank you. But yeah, we'll get you on your way this weekend on a Friday night and enjoy all the racing. But of course, if you want to see updates from us here, all our social media handles are on the screen for you above the yellow line. We also have hats for sale. There should be a link if you scan the QR code in the top left corner, or if you go to the description, there should be a link with ATYL merch where you can get some hats, some shirts, whatever you want. So he made their hats. So make sure to just check us out on social media.
Batman made it right there.
Yeah, the hats, the designs, and everything are super sick, and it's because of Rob. They look so good. So make sure to
Rob.
give the merch some love. And yeah, and then also, of course, the ATYL main episodes come out every Monday on all these different podcasting platforms, but it also comes out mainly in video form on YouTube and Facebook. So give them some love there. But that does it here from us at Above the Yellow Line. Thank you all so much for joining, and have a great racing weekend. We will see you back on the ATYL channel for TobyChristie.com on Monday to wrap some things up from Pocono. But thanks all so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.